Peace, brothers and sisters. Brother Stephen X here. Respect Ring Media, respectringmedia.com. I hope all is well with you. Doing another broadcast on the victory of Terence Bud Crawford, since we're in the Terence Crawford era. Uh, been seeing a lot of things online, some Canelo fans crashing out, and I don't get it. Well, I do get it, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts on it. But I think I don't know if you've seen the Robert Garcia video, the trainer. I watched an interview with him on YouTube, and apparently he had picked at the last minute because he's on a show. The boxing scene has a show, but I haven't watched the show, but apparently on the show he had changed his pick from Canelo at the last minute to Bud. But if you watch the interview, you'll find it online. He looks sad in the interview. I mean, same with Vargas Senior, Fernando Vargas. He was sad too. He picked Canelo to win. And just like common Canelo fans that you see online, going across boxing Twitter or X, um, they're either very quiet or the ones that I see are crashing out. They're in denial. They're going through whatever the stages of grief are. That's what I'm seeing with these Canelo fans, and I don't understand. Well, let me break it down. I do understand, and that's why I'm doing this video. But how anyone could pick Canelo to beat Bud Crawford, um, okay, that's understandable given the state of boxing. So I wouldn't say you're a casual or you don't know boxing if you chose Bud to lose because Canelo has the judges. Canelo's got Vegas. Canelo, Canelo, Canelo. He's been given gift decisions, gifted draws, but he's also suffered defeats. But in those defeats, watch the fights where Canelo is defeated. Bivol, which is the last defeat before Bud, got a UD on Canelo, which is very impressive. Floyd Mayweather got a split decision, but it wasn't a split decision. Watch the fight on YouTube. It was a 12-0 outclassing boxing clinic. Bud Crawford gets a UD, right? But he did lose rounds. He did lose rounds to Canelo. I think I scored it. I keep saying how much I scored. I 116, 112 on my scorecards for Bud. So that means he lost some rounds, right? What is that, 8-4? So in one way, Floyd Mayweather was more masterful in defeating Canelo. And this is when Canelo was younger and Floyd was the older fighter coming out of the game, or the last few years of his career. But the historical record will not reflect that it was a 12-0 shutout for it. It was a split decision, which is crazy. But we see with Bud Crawford, it appeared to be a way more dominant performance. Just the eye test, like he just got beat up, Canelo, by Bud, and outclassed. So, but the fact that Canelo won rounds, you think, oh, well, then it would be a split decision, but that would have been very bad for boxing. And I said before the fight that a UD is the best thing for boxing. And this is why, if you see, there's a clip that Ring put out where Bud is on his knees when the first scorecard is read. He drops to his knees. And it was with a 116, 112 scorecard, and then he dropped to his knees. And then they read out the other two, and I know Bud was praying. He had a lot to go up against. He went up against a machine. That's why his victory is it's really a miracle because he should have won, but we all know boxing. So I don't blame anyone for saying, Bud's gonna beat him, but he's gonna lose on the cards. And I don't blame anyone for saying that Bud's gonna get knocked out. I don't blame anyone for saying that. Like, weight does matter. Here's the issue. Now it's easy to say this in hindsight after the fight, but Bud is like a whole different class above Canelo. Like, there's your Bud Crawfords are mentioned among like the Floyd Mayweathers, Bud Crawfords. These guys have a mentality to win. You're never going to beat a Floyd Mayweather or a Bud Crawford. They refuse to lose. They're never going to lose. Okay. Canelo has already lost, so that's a person that doesn't have the will to win. And I'm not saying that he's a bum. He's not. But like I said, there's fighters that will never lose, right? They will never lose. Now we saw and I believe Devin Haney is one of those fighters. Now we saw Devin Haney initially lose to Ryan Garcia, but he was in the ring with a weight and drug cheat, and we saw boxing corrected that wrong and turned that victory into a rightful no contest. It could have been a DQ win for Devin, but I'm actually glad it's just a no contest. But to be honest with you, it would have been justified to have a DQ win. Because to call it a no contest, well, the contest happened. We all saw it actually happened. Um, it was Rottman that was speaking on that in an interview. He said that, yeah, the contest happened. It should be a DQ win. That's how we stop drug cheating. But I would put Devin Haney as part of that. These guys refuse to lose. I'm thinking if I put Shakur Stevenson in that. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson's going to find a way to win. And I'm mentioning these names because of how highly skilled these men are and their mentality. It's the mindset. So Canelo fans are denying Crawford's greatness because they've been fooled by the machine. Canelo is a product that was sold to the boxing world and the world at large, writ large, as a pound for pound great. Now, I think he's still on the pound for pound list. The ring pound for pound. I'm not going to check now. We all know about number one. I mean, with this, Canelo would have slid down for sure. But he's probably still in the top 10 because he was in it before the fight. So not as high as Bud. But my point is, Canelo was sold to the boxing world and the world writ large as a pound for pound great, and that he's on the Mount Rushmore of boxing. He's going to be an all-time great, top 10, top 5, top 3. This is the way he was sold, particularly to his fans. His fans are crashing out right now, or they've gone completely silent. And they're coming up with crazy things about gloves, and this TikTok of this guy saying the gloves were banned, and a few years ago the gloves that Bud had on were banned, and they weren't allowed to be used. Like they're illegal gloves. Not true. Apparently, it was in Britain. There was concern, but this was a few years ago. There was concern about the particular gloves Bud had, and they since then legalized it. The British Boxing Board of Control over there, whatever it's called, they have since raised those gloves are legal anywhere. You can use them. There were some problems with the padding apparently, but it's just to even talk about this in entertainment is just foolishness. Um, I've seen comments that it was rigged. What else have I seen? I've seen just ridiculous. Canelo's washed. No, he's not. Canelo said, and his trainer said, it's the best training he's had. He's well prepared. But if you look at Canelo's body language before the fight, I'm like, I knew something. The way his body language was like, he knew he was going to lose. And it's not because there was so much respect shown, because Canelo and Bud are just respectful dudes. I'm not basing it off the mutual respect they show each other as, oh, that's weak. No, I'm not looking at it that way. Canelo didn't look confident before the fight at the pressers. He looked subdued. Like there was something, it was inevitable that he was going to lose. Um, we saw him visibly get frustrated in the fight, right? Where in the last round and even the rounds before then, he looked like he wanted to quit. He just reset and like, oh, okay, let's go. But he looked like he wanted to quit. Bud had wobbled him. His legs looked a little shaky. I've watched the fight numerous times. I might even watch it again after I do this broadcast. But yeah, it's not far-fetched. I don't blame anyone for predicting. It's a prediction that Canelo would win. Weight matters in boxing, but not with a generational talent like Terence, Bud, Crawford. You cannot deny Crawford's greatness, and that's what Canelo fans are doing. Canelo fans are denying Crawford's greatness, and it's very unfortunate. Canelo is more classier and more of a good sport than his fans. I don't think he even messes with his fans like those. I call those toxic boxing fans, and I put fans in quotations. Those are not real fans. Those are people that have racial or social grievances with groups of people, and they attach themselves to the sport of boxing and a boxer, and project all of their negative views of people onto the boxer and hope that their quote unquote favorite boxer beats, in this case, the black fighter. That's all this is. That's all this crashing out and denial of Bud's greatness is just good old fashioned American racism. That's all it is. And I like the way Bud is being celebrated. I think boxing, did you see the celebrities in the crowd just relieved when the decision was just clapping like, yes? Did you see the way Bud was crying and he got up on the ref, Thomas Taylor had to bring him up on his knee, off his knees, and he was just really, Bud, you think he looks sad? It's because he worked so hard to get the recognition that he finally got that night. So that's why he looked down, even though he got the greatest victory of his career. It was really him being relieved, like finally, like a release. All the pressure, like all the burden is off my shoulders. That's what it was. And then I saw in the crowd was just like finally elated because boxing needs this. Boxing needed a correct decision. It needed a UD. We didn't need to see a knockout. No, we don't need, it's not about knockouts. This had to be a UD. And unfortunately, these Canelo fans, the sport is better without them. And I'm serious. When Canelo goes, he can take those toxic fans, not all of them, but those ones that are denying Bud's greatness, he can take them with him. But he doesn't even want them. They're not real boxing fans. They don't respect the sport of boxing. They don't respect the sport. So they need to get out now, post haste. We don't want them. Because we're not, if Bud had lost, Bud Crawford's fans would not do what Canelo fans are doing right now. Right now, unfortunately, I saw a video of this man. Now, you can guess he's a Canelo fan, but he was Mexican, and he's like, "Look, guys, I'm Mexican, but Bud beat the f out of Canelo. Like, stop it. Canelo doesn't throw a jab; he only throws power punches, which is true. Like, how is a guy that doesn't throw jabs going to beat a generational talent like Bud, who's mastered everything? How is he going to beat? Canelo doesn't jab. in this bully boxing he was doing, thinking that was gonna work. Bully boxing. How are you gonna bully a bully like Bud Crawford? How are you gonna out bully him? It's just everyone got their picks wrong, man. Vegas got it wrong. People lost a lot of money. I'm assuming. I don't make assumptions, but if the odds were in favor of Canelo, a lot of people lost money. I mean, that's not an assumption. That's an educated guess. Those people that put up whatever, like, y'all got to deal with your delusions of grandeur. I mean, you know, Canelo's gonna be fine. His fans need to just leave. Like they're one of the worst fan bases, one of the worst. I would put them in the top three worst fan bases. I'm hesitant to say number one, but they're in the top three worst fan bases in boxing, and really the sport is better without them. We don't need we need fans that where it's mutual respect after the fight's done, like the way Canelo and uh, Bud gave back the belts, and he he gave a little high five to Canelo's daughter. He shook Canelo's wife's hand, and this is what we need in the sport. And I know I'm going to use my voice to always support respect in and out of the ring, for sure. And what we saw was a respectful display of two talented boxers. It's just Bud Crawford is on another level. I don't want to give grade letters, but I would say Bud Crawford is elite, and Canelo is good. He's good is beneath. It's a level below. Bud Crawford is elite. Elite. He is the best. Canelo is um, good. He's a good fighter with a long career, and he can retire. Both of them could retire right off in the sunset. But I just wanted to just address some of these fans, these toxic Canelo fans. Stop denying Bud Crawford's greatness. Stop denying. Um, that's another thing. They want David Benavidez, who they've never embraced because he's Ecuadorian and Mexican. He's not full Mexican, and he's American. He's not from Mexico. But the torch was supposed to be passed to him. But Canelo ducked him. He said, I'm not going to fight another Mexican. And then he fought Munguia. But he knew he was going to be Munguia. So, but he doesn't want to pass the torch to David Benavidez. Now these same Canelo fans want David Benavidez to clean up Canelo's mess, do Canelo's dirty work, and fight Bud at 168. This is madness. Fight Bud at 168, or what? You're going to force Bud to move up to 175? You can't tell Bud anything. So you never liked David Benavidez, but you like him now, and you're begging him in the comments to go fight Bud for you. You got to get one for the team. This imaginary race war that folks got going on, they need to really reevaluate their thought processes, because they got things all the way mixed up. Canelo has to avenge his own loss. Someone else can avenge your loss for you. And David should just tell y'all that, go turn around and walk the other way. Like, please, don't talk to me. But this imaginary race war and folks taking a sport and making it about something else, we don't got time for that, man. We'll focus on the sport, man, and the best fighting the best, and fighters unifying, and fighters becoming undisputed, and fighters getting belts. We got November 22nd coming up, Night of Champions. We really need more nights like that, Canelo and Crawford night, and more nights that will be coming up with November 22nd in Riyadh, Night of Champions. We need nights like that. More of that, less of the circus shows. You know who I'm referring to. All right, so I just wanted to get a mic, share some of my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Check out the website, respectringmedia.com. Shoot me an email if you want to submit an article. I will read it and post it on the website. Um, I get traffic there. It's respectringmedia@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter, or what's called X, at respectringnews. Respect Ring Media is the name. You'll see me there. My photos there. Please do like this video and subscribe to my channel if you can, and also share the video. That helps a lot. If you want to support me in any way, $, Cash App, $, Respect Ring Media. Okay, that's all I have for now. Just wanted to get on the mic and share some of my thoughts about the Canelo fan base. These Canelo fans are definitely denying Crawford's greatness, and it's very unfortunate. All right, y'all. Peace for now.